Formal statement, if y'all can.
Damn, Sheldon.
Well, I guess we'll
I
start.
already have a question. No, I mean, sorry about this morning, but obviously we were we were moving on the fly here pretty quick, so we had to get in there and start some film on Mississippi and get going. So we had to quickly pivot, but it's been an interesting few hours. But hey, that's the way it goes. So we're excited to play. Our guys are excited to play. We've said the whole time, our players want to play. Our guys want to play games. So whatever we've got to do to make it happen. And this is just one of those things. And we'll be ready tomorrow night at 7:30 in Oxford, as ready as we can be. But I do want to. My staff's done a phenomenal job, just kind of rallying and trying to get everything together for Mississippi. And then Nelson and LeBrent and Matt Laborde done a great job with the travel and some of the logistics. I don't even want to get into all of that sort of thing. And just, you got to fly a small plane in if you go into Oxford, and we have the big plane rented because we were going to Columbia, Missouri, so you can't fly that into Oxford. So I mean, it moves like 100 different things around, and it's just been something else. But we practiced early so we could give ourselves enough time. We're going to leave here at 5 o'clock and fly to I believe Tupelo, and then bus from Tupelo down to Oxford. So we'll, like I said, we'll be ready to go tomorrow.
Well, can you just give us a little timeline about when you found out, and then a little bit more about how?
Is that good, Cobble?
How you have to change so quick?
So I got a call last night at 7 from Matt Laborde that this was a possibility, but it still seemed like, I finished up Missouri last night. I kind of finished up all the Missouri stuff last night because it was still a possibility that we could play Missouri. It's a contact tracing issue from what I understand. So there's still a chance we could play Missouri, but this morning I started working on Mississippi. One of my assistants started working on them last night. I called him and said, look, we gotta bear down, and you get ready for Mississippi, and I'll have everything ready for Missouri. And then this morning I started working on Ole Miss, and we did our normal day out prep. We started on Missouri yesterday actually, but we kind of scrapped that and moved forward with Ole Miss when we got in the gym at 11 this morning. So it's been we didn't know for sure. I mean, we didn't have official word when I went into practice. They just said, I knew Ole Miss was practicing for us today, and I said, we're going to practice I knew we weren't playing Missouri, but we weren't for sure if this game was going to go off. So it's just like, if we're going to play, we're playing Ole Miss, and we'll prepare for them.
Is this similar to when you play a tournament game, although sometimes you know who you're going to play? Last SEC tournament was one of those days where you didn't know, but at least you knew a combination of teams you could play. How hard was it to turn around? I mean, you think you're in good shape?
I mean, we'll see. We're pretty, we had all our analytics stuff ready for Missouri. Like, that stuff you can't just turn around in 2 hours. So we're going to have to use we're just using the best we can. We spend a lot. We have a normal routine with 2-day prep, 1 day. We have a normal routine, so we're a little bit off, but it's nothing we haven't done before. And so, I mean, look, LSU's going to be there, Ole Miss going to be there, and we just got to play. But yeah, I mean, are we going to have our normal prep and 2-day out prep and all the stuff that we do? No, but we tried to cover as much of it as we could today, and we'll get there tonight and go over some more film and go over as much as we can. And we got a full day tomorrow. The game's not till 7:30, so we'll have to adjust some things tomorrow and probably do a little bit more prep on game day than we typically do. And at 7:30, we'll see how it goes.
Thanks.
Earlier today it was reported Charles Manning entered the transfer portal. Can you confirm that? And
Confirmed.
If so, are you surprised or how it went down or whatever?
No.
You weren't surprised?
No.
Did he come to you and say he was doing it?
Me and him met yesterday.
Okay. And can you divulge anything? Was it over minutes, or was he just unhappy, or he just felt he'd be better somewhere else?
I can make decisions too, Ron.
Yeah, I got you. Let me get this straight real quick. Even if the NCAA gives him, I guess, you can one-time transfer immediate eligibility, he only has one semester left, doesn't he?
No, because he gets the whole year back because of COVID.
Okay, I got you.
Does that make sense? So he gets the whole year back because of the COVID. So what he'll do is, I mean, look, at the end of the day, you know, he wanted to play more. There's no doubt about that. But you know, our semester starts on Monday, and if he was going to end up transferring anyway, you know, at some point it's he needs to go somewhere where he can, you know, work with their team and work out with their team so he can put himself in the best position to have a good season next season, and that's what's best for Charles, and so that's what he'll, you know, that's what he's going to do.
Hey, Will, I know you guys are really early into this prep, but can you just give us a little bit of a scouting report, I guess, on Ole Miss and just kind of what you guys have seen from them in the first couple of...
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're physical. They play extremely, extremely hard. Rodriguez at the 3 is tremendous. Schuler's hasn't played as well in SEC play, but he's preseason second-team All-SEC. Romello White's been great for them down low. They started Morrell in the last game against Auburn, a very, very highly touted kid from Memphis. By way of IMG, but they started him. Jarkel Joyner, transfer, led the WAC in scoring at Cal State Bakersfield. You know, very, very good player. Buffin, who we're familiar with, who's back, who starts at the 4 for him. Kadeem C has started playing again. He was out for some games, but he's been back. They've got a big transfer, a lefty from Samford, who Trendon and some of our guys know, and then Crowley, who they had last year as well. So that's basically the 9 they roll with. We're fairly familiar with them, and they're the second best defensive team in the SEC. They're top 10 in the country in a lot of defensive categories. They change those defenses up, so that you know, we've got to be ready for that.
Mine are kind of more general questions. You talk to the kids about this, they're pretty resilient. They don't really, you know, they get the game plan regardless of who it is, and they'll roll with it. Do you talk to Kermit about this stuff? Is it a lot simpler than we might think it is?
I mean, for the kids, I mean, whether they get on a plane and go to Columbia, Missouri, or Oxford, or, you know, Tupelo, Mississippi, I mean, I'm not sure how much different it is for them. You know, for us, it does create some challenges with the preparation and with the staff and that sort of thing. But, like, you know, look, we just had to pivot, and this is what we've been doing all year. We did this with, you know, we've had to do this with other games and in other situations. So it's, you know, our kids are resilient, and we'll be as ready as we can tomorrow night at 7:30.
Yeah, well, past few games, I mean, Cam's come out kind of cold, and he's trying to get himself going. Is there any sense that sometimes at the start he may be pressing a bit too much? I mean, for him, just to that pressure, feel like he has to score, maybe pressing a bit too much on his shots.
I mean, I don't know about that. I think, you know, he's gotten some good looks. He missed some early, but I mean, sometimes it takes a minute to get into the rhythm of the game. You know, Georgia, we had been preparing for somebody to do what Georgia did to him by top guarding him and things like that. We had prepared a package of things to do when Georgia did that. However, we didn't expect Georgia to do it. We had prepared it for some other teams because Georgia had been a lot more passive defensively than they were against us. They were much more aggressive. Now, they had a week off, and it obviously put some time into it. But, you know, sometimes it does take some time to adjust when it's something that maybe we haven't worked against or have practiced against recently, although we had practiced and prepared for it. But he's so sharp and so good at making those adjustments and figuring things out and being able to you know, move on the fly. And and work his way into it. If you're going to guard him like Georgia did, which is be very physical with him and in his face and face guard him, you're going to do what Georgia did, which is foul him a ton and just walk him to the free throw line where it's basically automatic points. So you're either going to kind of do what they did and he's going to shoot 15, 16, 17 free throws, or you're going to, you're going to have to guard him another way, and, he's going to have open looks. And so it's, puts the other team in a tough predicament.
Hey, so I guess I have kind of taken Sheldon's job here, but is there, a little bit of an update on Sharif, and, is everybody else pretty much going to be available for tomorrow?
Yep, everybody else will be available. Sharif is feeling better. He's feeling better, but he's not. He won't be available tomorrow. I would say next week, next Saturday maybe, or the following middle of the following week. I'd say would be a safe bet.
Glenn keeps stealing my thunder, so we'll have to take care of the 6'10" guy later. But anyway, were you planning to shorten your rotation a little bit? I mean, you've done well with 7, 8, 9 guys.
Well, we've got 7 guys right now that I'm very comfortable playing, and we need to get a couple 6 and 7. We need to get some more minutes for those guys, and then, we're going to play an 8th and a 9th. The 9th would depend on game situations, and so. There's 7 guys that I'm 100%, with, and they bring great offensive and defensive leverage to our team. They bring, they bring good stuff to us, and then we're still kind of searching for that 8th and 9th guy. We were going to play Josh Gray at Missouri, and we may play him at Ole Miss because Romello White's a big guy. I mean, we had our rotation. I planned the rotation in the minutes before the game, and so we had Gray in there for 6 minutes at Missouri, and I got to go back, and I'll have to do that late tonight when we get there. I got more pressing things right now with Ole Miss, but I know we'll play 7 of them for sure, and then we're going to try out. Basically what we did the other night was I knew the 7 we were going to play. I tried out. I played 10 guys in the first half. We tried the other guys, and I went with Hyatt in the second half because I thought he played the best in the first half. I thought Cook did a good job with his on-ball defense. So we just kind of try some guys out, and we'll figure out which one of them's playing well that night. We'll give those minutes in the second half to whatever guy is playing well that night.
Thanks.
But I would like to play 8 with a 9th as kind of a wild card based on scouting. Basically Gray.
Gray would be.
Yes.
What's limiting Gray from getting time earlier?
Well, when you play him, you've got to change the entire way you play. So everybody else on our roster is kind of built to play one way, but you have to change you can't run the 5-out stuff on offense. It changes your spacing. It changes, the matchup zone. You have to play more of a straight 2-3 zone. It changes a bunch of different ways, and it's not as simple as you just put Josh Gray in the game and he goes and gets 3 rebounds. Like, yeah, that sounds nice, and he'll get rebounds, he'll block shots, he'll do some things, but there's other parts that go into it. Does it throw off? He may get 3 rebounds, but our defense may give up. I mean, not that we don't give up a bunch of open shots anyway, but we may give up even more open shots because we're messed up because we're having to play we have to change what we do when he goes in, which in special cases when you're going against a Tillman, and like I said, my hunch is we're going to need him against Romello White. Like when you're going against these big guys like that, it's worth doing. It's worth it. But there's a give and take. It's not like you just put him in and he blocks 2 shots and gets 3 rebounds and nothing else happens. Like there's a lot of other pieces that he affects when he goes in the game. You can't switch a 1-on-5 ball screen with him like you can with Josh LeBon. You can't do some of that stuff, and then everybody's going to be going crazy if we put him in the game and just keep doing the same thing that we're doing. And we got him guarding the point guard out there on a switch, and we got our point guard guarding the big. Like that, you can't just do that. Well, then you've got to practice for 2 days when you put him in at the 5. I mean, there's 150 different factors that go into it. If it was as simple as I just put him in and he'd go get us a couple rebounds and foul somebody, I'd do it every time. But we can't do that, and we're going to use it situationally, and we've started to practice those situations more. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I saw Wheeler on LeBlanc though earlier in the last game. I was wondering what was going on with that.
Well, LeBlanc can sit down and guard a point guard. We put LeBlanc on Florida's point guard. Like, he can sit down and do that. What I'm saying is, I love Josh Gray, but he's going to look like he's on ice skates out there if I put him out there on a point guard. You know, and so, like, that's your options now. If you play him on the big and you want to switch, then you're switching him onto a point guard when they set a ball screen. The other option is put him on the point guard and wait for him to set the ball screen and switch him back onto the big. Or the third option is, when we work on switching and work on that stuff all day, every day, you don't switch with them, which is what you basically have to do, and then it changes everything that the other 4 people on the court are doing for the entire possession. Not to mention, we got to play offense too. But having said all that, what now?
I said that wasn't even going to be my question, but I appreciate all this.
Having said all that, he does bring value, and he can help us, and we've got to use him situationally a lot better. I still should have played him against Florida. We can use him situationally on defense a lot better than I have.
You talk about being connected in your first couple of years. You talk about being connected. I was just curious, are you making more of a concerted effort to stay in touch with the guys, given what we've seen with college athletes so far and their inability to feel like normal or functioning like normal, you know, off the court, outside of practice, those kinds of things?
Yeah, we're always in touch. I wouldn't say we're more in touch this year than any other year. I mean, we're in touch daily with every kid, my staff, myself. I mean, it's not any different than what we do daily. But yeah, we're very in tune with what our guys got going on. We're very in tune with our team chemistry and with our with body language and that sort of thing, and positive energy. We had more positive energy in practice today than we've had in a month. That's not a coincidence.
You chart that? You chart that?
Huh?
You chart that? Do you have? I feel like you chart everything. Do you?
We got charts on stuff. Oh yeah. We got cameras on the bench. Look how bad some of our guys look. We got all sorts of stuff.
We got cameras on the media, I know, but while you're on the roster, talking about the roster.
We have to watch you, Sheldon.
While you're talking about the roster.
Yeah, make sure you don't take. I got to make sure you don't take Glenn's kneecaps out.
Well, that's the only thing I could reach on a 6'10" guy. No, I'm kidding. Talking about the roster and school starting Monday. Any word on Brian Penn Johnson? Is he done? Or?
Yeah, he won't be in school on Monday.
Okay.
Count to 13, Sheldon?
Count to 13, why?
I'm saying we got to have 13 on scholarship. 13 on scholarship. You pick up 2, you lose 2, that equals 13.
Exactly.
I'm from Tennessee. I can even figure that out. Huh?
Thank you.